I can help these guys anti-bitter.
Right now.
The standard of truth has been erected.
Stop playing defense.
You're absolutely right.
No unhallowed hand can stop the broadcast.
That is the way that a lot of Latter-day Saints do apologetics.
Cancel culture rages and mobs combine.
We actually had one of the protesters over for dinner.
What?
But the truth of God will go forth boldly
These people are lying to you. They do not care about you.
until it has reached every television, sounded in every iPhone, and reached every person. This signal will continue to go forth. Here we defend truth. Here we denounce deception. Here we are created in the image of God. Our detractors call us crazy, but our friends call us.
All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ward Radio live stream. Babe, do you want to start us out? Do you want to do the intro instead of me?
No.
No. Okay, welcome to the Ward Radio live stream. I'm your host, Cardinellis, and today I'm joined in the studio by none other than Brittany the Shadow. And we're going to be responding to some comments today. It's actually going to be a lot of fun. Thanks, you guys, for coming into the chat. I see it's already starting to rock and roll. You guys are the reason we do this. We love the community here. Speaking of community, I just got off the Discord today doing my first voice call. I'm very proud of myself. I did voice calls for Problem Solver Politics and a couple of the other podcasts that I ran, but they were always done by my assistant, Cody, who was the technical genius behind it, whereas I am meandering through the minefield that is every advancement that Discord has to offer, and I'm having a lot of fun. I think you guys will too. So if you haven't had a chance yet, I didn't think I was going to plug this, but now I got to plug it, so I'm going to have to pull up another browser here. If you haven't had a chance yet, okay, go to wardradio.com and you'll notice at the very top corner of our website there, see right in the top corner where it says like log in, and right above it, there's that little paddle. Oh, it's not there on the screen. I'm going to make it look a little bit bigger here for you guys. If you look in the top right corner of our website, you see that social media bar where it's got the YouTube, the Twitter, X, forgive me, the X.com plugin, Spotify, TikTok, Instagram, and there's that little paddle that looks like a PlayStation controller. Well, that is Discord, which is super fun social media app that rocks and rolls in real time. It's meant a lot for gamers, but it's actually used by all kinds of people now on all kinds of other platforms. It's like a place of community gathering. And so I just had a voice chat today with like 7 or 8 other people who are fans of the show. Maybe we'll start doing that in the future. I'm not sure what the future of Discord will be, but I just know that it's a lot of fun and it's a really good gathering place for people. And if you go there, I think we'll enjoy it. But today we've got a very easy breezy live stream, me and Brittany here, where I planned this before releasing yesterday and the day before's video, where I got savaged. How have the videos and the comments that we're going to respond to this week been, babe? How would you describe them?
Okay, so disclaimer, I have not watched the Sports Illustrated video, but I read through some of the comments and people weren't liking your position on that one.
Yeah, we're going to war with some of the conservatives in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in this very podcast today, and I will defend myself. But simultaneously, yeah, that was pretty fun. But that was pretty funny, those responses. In fact, I would say that one of the most hilarious comments we're going to talk about today came from that video. But we had a big week this week. There was the Green Book Exposed from Apologia Studios. Okay, there was the locations of the Book of Mormon. There was also the debacle at BYU. Is BYU going woke with this whole Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition thing, or is it a big fat nothing burger? I don't know. But anyway, we kind of took some screenshots of some of our favorite comments during the week. And today we're actually just going to burn through all of these different comments and so on and so forth, see what people had to say, and respond to a lot of these. We're going to have a lot of fun. If you guys don't mind, please like the stream on the way in. Also, if you want to share this with your friends, we're going to be having a lot of fun. And if there's anything that you want to say, if there's anything you guys want to say, make sure you send it to us in a super chat, and we will do our very best to read the super chats online. during the live stream. Also, big shout out. There's a lot of people with us. 40% of our viewers still haven't actually created an account yet on YouTube. They're not subscribed to us. Almost half the people that watch our content are not subscribed. If you can subscribe to our channel, there's benefits. We know a lot of people that are averse to just creating a profile or downloading the app. There's a lot of people that watch us from the mobile version of YouTube. If you download the app on your smartphone, not only is it a lot better of a listening and viewing experience because it's optimized for your phone, but you can listen at 2 times speed, so on and so forth, and you get the alerts of when our new content comes out. A lot of people, especially some of the older members of our show, and believe it or not, I do want to make sure that everybody is accommodated here in the Ward Radio Wigwam. We put out an alert on social media when we're gonna live stream most of the time. But the best alert you get is actually from YouTube itself, and the best app for that is the YouTube app. So if you want to download the YouTube app as well, then subscribe to our channel. You're going to hear a lot more about what we do. Okay. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's jump right in. What was your favorite comment of the week, babe? Did you have a favorite that instantly came to mind, or were you just enjoying your husband getting savaged online?
I don't think I have a favorite. I mean, some of the people are just like really nasty, or I'm like, why do you even watch? Like,
that's true.
I don't know. And then there's others that I feel like that maybe they take us a little bit too seriously. Where they're like, okay, this is not like official church doctrine. Like, you're probably not going to see us in general conference. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Susie, you can calm down. Okay.
Like, who do you get savaged by most, babe? Do you get savaged, or is
I
that
don't know.
just us?
Do I get savaged?
I don't think so. They don't really come after you. They come after Quaco a lot. They come after me a lot.
I don't know. I haven't seen any savage comments against me, but
okay,
maybe there are some out there. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, I got a couple of questions I see in the chat actually about an update on the JFK video. Yeah, there's actually a sizzle reel coming out. It's going to be pretty cool. Probably part of a Kickstarter. Again, for concerns of copyright, I'm actually having a legal team look at it once it's done. We have to finalize it before it's done so they can actually say whether or not it does fall into not just fair use, because we don't want to accidentally fair use out our own footage. But yeah, that's a coming. That's in the works. It's super cool. If you live in Los Angeles, I can actually just show you the footage in person. If you want to make it to the studio, I mean, I don't know if that's worth making a trip out here to Los Angeles for. But yes, that is coming. So anyway, welcome everybody to the chat. Glad to see so many members here. Besides subscribing to our channel, if you want to join the channel, you are going to get all kinds of cool benefits as well, such as members-only videos. Have you noticed, babe, that a lot of these videos coming out are members only for the first day or two?
Yeah, I actually asked you about that. I was like, oh, there's like a members only video, and you were like, yeah, like I was dumb. I'm like, okay.
Oh, I would never act that way. I would never.
Well, no, I'm saying like I felt like I was dumb.
Oh, okay.
I was
yes.
like, oh, there's members.
Well, members
only.
are starting to get early access to the videos, sometimes by 1 or 2 days. It takes me 2 or 3 days to edit one of these videos. So sometimes I pull an all-nighter and I just do it overnight from the time we record. But usually I'll record on day 1 and I'll do some editing on day 2 and then some polishing on day 3. Posting takes time to upload, and by the evening it comes out after I'm done with work. So what I've been doing now is if a video is going to come out on Friday and I finish on a Thursday, I give members early access. And a perk of being a member of this channel is you indeed get to have early access to all the cool content. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it is actually pretty dang awesome. So looks like we got a lot of people who are still coming into the chat here, but most of us are here now. And so we're just going to get started here and just have some fun.
Oh,
you know,
boy.
Actually, I'm just going to burn through all the comments that I screenshotted. And then what's really cool is I'm just going to pull up the back end of YouTube and do it on screen and just respond to those comments live. You guys will get to see it here live. So first things first, I thought this one was funny. It says, Brad, you deserve an apology. You get cut off more than anyone, and you have some of the most perceptive and salient arguments by far. Love you all and love the show. And unfortunately, everybody agreed. Everybody agreed that Brad gets interrupted a lot and gets cut off. Look at this one. Brad gets interrupted a lot. And also, he's the most humble in my opinion. He's looking up at the book, and his reply is always so meek and humble. Quaker Oats and carbon fiber act like that. I wasn't for sure. LOL. I wasn't sure. I don't know what the last guy's saying. But yeah, you know what? It's true.
I think they're calling Kwaku Quaker and you are carbon.
Quaker oats and carbon fiber. I think maybe the guy was doing talk to text on voice.
Maybe.
You know, because yeah, that didn't come out exactly how I think he planned or we thought it was going to happen. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, it's true. Now, I will tell you.
Brad can get feisty though.
Okay.
Like I've been in the studio where Brad gets super feisty and we're all like Brad just said that. So I don't know. Maybe the way you edit it.
Well, also we did figure out it was worse back when we were Midnight Mormons. But now, oops.
Live stream's over.
Yeah, live stream's over. See you guys later. It was worse when it was Midnight Mormons, but some of it was actually a physical impediment of this studio. A lot of people don't realize it, but I have a giant split in between my two screens right here. If you were actually to look at the studio here, I'm going to see if I can get the studio camera up. Let me see. Is the studio camera working? If we activate that, is it coming up? No, it's not coming up. Bummer. The studio camera's not on. So I can't show people this as it is now. But hey, we got a member here. I'm going to give them the shout out here in a second. But there's a giant split between my two screens right now where I can see Brittany on the other side very easily, and she's where Kwaku often sits. Yeah. She's actually getting her own chair over here, and we are building and modifying the studio so that she has this cool tall chair she can sit in with her own microphone and everything. And it's instead of just being this ugly bust shot, it's going to be this nice full body shot right here of Brittany, the shadow, so she can do her Keepers of the Chats thing with a cool laptop right next to her, and that's going to be over on this side. But Brad used to get cut off a lot because we had to change the screens around. I couldn't see him as much to my left. So I could always talk directly at Kwaku and I could see when he was about to say something, but I couldn't see when Brad was. So oftentimes I would start to talk over him, and then he finally got angry and we kind of realized that we were interrupting him a lot, and we fixed it. So hopefully that's not happening as much. But yeah, Brad would get interrupted a lot.
And Brad loves us. He's fine.
Yes.
But it's cute that you guys defend him, but he doesn't need defending. He's fine.
Yeah. Awesome, dude. So anyway,
you want to welcome Thomas and Sheila Rock?
Oh, yes. You have to do the, hey, look, in the regular Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, in a regular ward, women can't hold the priesthood and can't welcome people into the ward. But in the Ward Radio Wigwam, the ward, the worldwide digital ward, I guess you can be the ward clerk and just welcome. You can do Jonah's job. Yeah, the clerkette. So clerkette Brittany the Shadow, would you like to welcome, as Keepers of the Chats, would you like to welcome our new member?
Sure, but no one's going to do this as well as Jonah does. But we have received the records of a new member, Thomas, maybe it's two members, Thomas and Sheila Rock. All those that want to welcome them to the Ward Radio Wigwam, you can put a W in the chat. Okay, cool. So we have put a couple of W's in the chat for you guys. Welcome to the. By the way, what's the alliteration? And we're gonna burn through the rest of these comments here, but what's the alliteration that we can? What's the alliteration that we can put up? That's dang it! I accidentally just pressed the wrong button. And it X'd out of the chat, and I can't see the chat, so now I got to bring it back. Anyway, what's the new word that we can use that's the alliteration for our Ward Radio Wigwam? But, Wigwam, that's... I don't really like Wigwam,
yeah, that's... Jonah has said the Ward Radio Wormhole. The Ward Radio can't be ward building.
Although I did just see Dune, so Wormhole, that's kind of cool.
The Ward Radio Wormhole. Everybody in the chat, if you guys could please give us a suggestion for what the digital fictitious entity of the chapel that we would be meeting in cyberspace is. Do you guys like the Ward Radio Wigwam? Or do you think there's something better out there? Do you like the Ward Radio Wormhole? What do you like? What would you like to hear more of?
Ward Radio Warship. Like worship, but a warship.
Dude, the wardship.
The wardship.
Oh, the ward. Okay, so the Ward Radio wardship.
Mm-hmm.
Does that work for you? Okay.
I mean, it was my idea, so I liked it.
The Ward Radio Warship. Okay, that's actually a pretty cool one. Let us know. We got a couple of other suggestions in here and a new member. Before I go over these comments, just
Okay, hold on. We have a super chat from Rex Good.
Yep.
My favorite. He says, "Nobody better be mean to Brittany." Aww.
Rex.
Thanks, Rex.
Rex, we can always count on you, Rex.
And we have a new member. Do you want me to?
Yes, do it. Go for it.
I believe it's D Naughty 208. Welcome to the Ward Radio Warship. I don't know, wigwam, warship. What do you want to say?
I like the Ward Radio Warship.
Okay.
Of course, all the evangelicals are actually going to think that we're calling it worship. They go like, see, they are idolatrous.
That's part of the funniness
self-worship. So, okay, keep going.
Okay. Yeah, so everyone that wants to welcome D Naughty 208, please put a W in the chat. Welcome, D Naughty 208.
Oh, that's funny. By the way, we're getting some really hilarious suggestions here. Some of the members have come up with some good things, and some of the non-members haven't joined yet. Shame on you, but they got some good ideas here. I want it to be, if it can be, an alliteration, so it should start with a W. Ward Radio Starbase from Minor Prophet Ian Malcolm. That's pretty funny. He's making fun of the Temple of the God Makers, calling it Starbase Kolob. Then the Ward Radio Warehouse says Danny Gray. That one's pretty funny. And then Wormhole just reminds me of that Tremors movie with Kevin Bacon. Oh, that's funny. Kevin Bacon, fun guy in real life, by the way, guys, if you didn't know. Yeah.
I like the Dove's Nest Ward Radio Watchtower.
You know, the Ward Radio Watchtower is pretty cool, but I've got brain damage from having dealt with all of the Jehovah's Witnesses in Argentina, and the Watchtower is their publication. Just like we have The Friend and the Ensign and Time Magazine, they have the Watchtower. And so I kind of feel like that W word has already been taken by the not Seventh-day Adventists, what I was going to say, the Jehovah's Witnesses. And so, I don't know if we can use Watchtower. I love that though, you know? So I don't know, maybe we just keep it with the Ward Radio Warship and the Wigwam. I don't know. We'll work on it.
I'm having PTSD of when, who was at the tables? Me, you, Kwaku,
Luke Hansen.
When we're trying to figure out what the new name of the channel should be.
Yeah.
My gosh. I think we all threw out about 500,000 names each.
Well, somebody suggested here, pretty funny, the Ward Radio Weird Room. I was like, I don't know. Okay, that one works. Anyway, for the rest of the day, anybody that super chats us a funny name, as long as it's appropriate, that's what we will call it. For anybody else that we welcome into the Ward Radio entity that we choose for the rest of this live stream. If you give us a killer super chat, the first person to super chat us a new name, and it has to be an alliteration, it has to be cool. But we will use that for the rest of the show. I hope they don't come up with something heinous, and then I have to be repeating just because they super chatted us. So anyway, let's go back over these comments here because I want to burn through these. I thought they were pretty cool. I thought a lot of them were pretty interesting and fun, and you know that was what we came here to do today. So anyway, this one I thought was actually kind of interesting. Okay. I had a couple of people here say something very interesting in two of these comments that I kind of wanted to address here. Okay. First off, you know, here's Descartes. I believe he just joined a couple of days ago, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken though. But anyway, he says, I just for the first time read an entire volume of Brigham Young in the Journal of Discourses. Man, I miss those days where he spoke bluntly and directly and weren't the doormats like we're being trained to be by current leadership. And I love them all, LOL, which we all do. But we do recognize that there is a generational issue of loyalty versus authenticity and of suburbanism versus whatever reality is, okay? And he says, I'm excited to read them all, as in the Journal of Discourses. He says, I'm so bored right now with most things in the church. I love the bombastic nature of the early saints, okay? Now, I take that seriously, okay? As much as I think very much like Brad, look, you know, the church isn't entertainment, okay? The church is not entertainment. We are not here to entertain you. The church is here to make available the correct doctrine, a meeting place for the saints to gather oft as we are commanded, but then also a place where ordinances can be performed. The chapels exist so the saints have a place to gather and take the sacrament. So they have a place to gather, learn the doctrine, and get baptized. So they have a place to gather and receive blessings or whatever they need to. We're not a source of entertainment, but we do have to be, in a certain way, a little bit of all those other things, because I do believe that sometimes you have to come to church for secondary reasons and tertiary reasons before you come to them for the primary reasons. Sometimes you have to get to church and come to church for bad reasons before you can come to them for the good ones. And there's nothing wrong with having a stepping stone to the higher law. Just like the Aaronic priesthood is a stepping stone and a gateway to the higher priesthood, the Melchizedek priesthood, there's nothing wrong with having good, entertaining firesides and leadership. And yes, we don't have rock concerts in the middle of our sacrament meeting like other churches do, okay, because we believe that's irreverent to the sacrament. But man, why don't we have firesides doing that? That's a great thing to have on firesides. That's a great thing to have for Saturday nights. Other churches make so much use of their buildings as gathering places. They'll have arcades in them, bean bags. It's like Google headquarters at some of these churches.
Yeah, why don't we have like a teen hangout room?
Exactly. We tisk of all the sins of the world out, while you're out there, but why not give a safe space for them to come? And it's not worship, but really, really take seriously a youth program that says, hey, here is a safe and fun and spiritual place. And we're in the business of proving that spirituality can be fun, can be entertaining, and can be wholesome. There was so much wholesome things to do in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, I think, out in the world. And that's where our leadership grew up, that they don't understand how it's not that way anymore. I say the same thing similarly, like, why don't they have babysitting in temples? And our church needs to take this seriously. And I have family that have been in temple presidencies, and I've talked to temple presidents and to engineers and stuff. And the older generation oftentimes says, well, we're not here just to babysit children. Like, if you want to come and worship at the temple, you should be responsible and should
I think it's
hire
mostly
a
like a liability thing.
Yeah, sure, but
There's probably laws,
could
regulations
cover that.
with daycare and all that stuff.
Let me tell you the amount of parents that would come and worship, because here's the thing that's different. In the 70s and 80s, the amount of dual income families, at least here in Los Angeles, was a minority. The vast majority of full member families were single income. And, when you have a bunch of stay-at-home mothers in your ward, well, you can organize. Look, our ward's going to go down. Somebody's going to stay behind, and they're going to babysit and so on and so forth, because there was so much freed up talent, because there were so many ladies and a couple of men in the ward, because it was a single income earner scenario. You could cover the bases to get babysitting done. But now to survive, at least here in LA County, and I might be complaining about a uniquely Californian thing, but with the cost of real estate here, with the cost of everything here, almost all of the families are dual income in order to survive here. And you cannot live outside of LA County and be in the animators union. If you're a talented animator, you graduate from BYU Animation, you get picked up by DreamWorks, Pixar, Illumination Studios, Nickelodeon, and you're in their union, you have to live, in order to qualify for some of the medical benefits and the union benefits and so on and so forth, you have to live within a 30-mile radius of the studios. And guess what? Within a 30-mile radius, with the collectively bargained contracts they have and everything, you can't buy a home for a 4 or 5 person family for less than $1 million, which oftentimes forces the families to be at least partially or completely dual income, which now makes it so that these wards are full of dual income wards. More people would go to the temple if the Los Angeles temple simply had the ability for a place where you could leave kids for a couple of hours and just worship in the temple. We build the patron apartments so people can come from out of state and stay overnight. We have all kinds of other programs that we do. Why not that one? So anyway, I've gone down a big rabbit hole here.
Maybe we should just drop off our kids in the visitor center and see what happens.
Yeah, that'd actually be really funny. So anyway, all I'm trying to say is that, hey, Descartes, I feel for you here. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people have said, I'm kind of bored. And I've said this before. You need to stop and ask, what would a 14-year-old boy brag to his friends about being a member of the church? Like, what about our church would make a 14-year-old boy brag to his friends? In the 90s, there was 5 things at the drop of the hat that I could list. Now, there's not as many, so it's a little bit... there's a reason why 82% of millennials are inactive, and a lot of that is on them. But some of it is on us, and we need to get back a forward-thinking spirit. We used to challenge the creeds and say, hey, we've got a new thing. The gospel is restored. We used to be spiritually on the attack. Now it seems like we've kind of tried to like go along to get along with a bunch of other faiths. And as much as I think that interfaith worship and interfaith action is so important, okay, we have to remember we're not just trying to be like them. Most churches in North America are failing. Did you know 82%? I just signed up as a customer, babe. I just signed up. It's a cool guy. He was a pastor. He was in his early 50s, late 40s, but he was a hip guy, and he had this cool podcast, and I saw his podcasting studio when I was doing the home inspection and everything. And I said, oh, dude, so you're a podcaster? He said, yeah, I've got these 2 podcasts. One of them was a religious podcast, and we were talking about the decline of religiosity in America. And he said, dude, bro, he said, it's our fault. I was like, wow, really? And he said, yeah. He said, did you know 82% of pastors in North America right now are over the age of 65?
Really?
Yeah, 82% of all pastors are over the age of 65. And he's like, our leadership in almost all religious organizations is just detached, unaware, financially not motivated because they're spoiled by awesome pensions. You know what I'm saying? To have to change. It's a problem. So when guys like Descartes say, dude, I'm kind of bored to tears right now. I get it, but take faith, bro, because things are changing, and I think Ward Radio is going to be part of that change. He continues and says, somebody else says, I do believe it's time for change, but in the good way. He says, I should probably clarify that I'm not bored with the doctrine or that it's taught in repetition, but I'm bored with how it's taught. Yeah, that's true. What did I just get on our doorstep this week, babe? What just came that our cool bishop, who did say yes to this and approve it, what just came to our doorstep this week?
TVs?
Yeah. I got called into the Sunday school presidency of the Beverly Hills 2nd Ward, right? And so now I said, this isn't cutting it. Us not having digital media in every single room. We need to have an HDMI capable device that every person can plug into that's bolted to the wall. Memorize this phrase, audience. Mormonism does well when it's bolted to the wall. I'm not talking some janky television or good big screen that's on a cart that you have to go spend 5 minutes checking out of the materials room, and then you show up to your classroom and you realize, oh, it barely fits through the door. Also, now we got to move some chairs, and oh crap, that HDMI cord's broken or missing or whatever. No, this needs to be bolted to the wall so every teacher knows I can show up, plug in my laptop, so I need to start on Wednesday or Thursday getting my lesson ready and make sure that it's in a nice PowerPoint presentation because I've got an HDMI cord ready for me. So I am literally going through every single room that we're teaching. I convinced our bishop, and our bishop is very forward thinking in this regard, so I give him a ton of credit. He said, yep, I'm going to put some funds into this, and we just got 2 50-inch TVs for the biggest the biggest 2 rooms in our chapel, and 3 of the screens in this studio are actually getting donated to my chapel as well, including the one behind you, babe. Sorry, but you're going to be missing your screen here in a couple of weeks, and we're going to install those in the rooms of the chapel as part of this necessity we have to upgrade in the church. Because just as Descartes says here, he says, I'm not bored of the doctrine or that it's taught in repetition, but with how it's being taught. And you know what? I'm sorry, felt boards just don't work anymore in 2023. So,
I love felt boards.
well, actually, in kind of a retro way, they probably would work. You know what I'm saying? But how many times do you have guys come up ill-prepared because they try and go analog and they're just not good at it?
Yeah.
So anyway, yes, Descartes, I feel you. Let's go to the next one. I'm never going to get through these.
Okay, hold on. We have to get through some super chats.
Yes, keepers of the chats. Hit us.
Okay. Shoot. Hold on. I got to scroll.
Okay.
We had a new member.
Oh, yeah. New member. Woo!
Let me find it. Okay. Natalie Crockett has just welcomed the Ward Radio. What are we calling it? Wardship?
the Ward Radio Warship.
I don't think
yeah.
anyone's super chat. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
Anyway, welcome to Ward Radio. Thanks for being a member. All those that can welcome Natalie, put a W in the chat.
Oh, W for Natalie.
Okay, the next super chat, Brother Cheerio. He says, both Jacob and Brad were right. I think he's referring to the Sports Illustrated video.
We're going to go over those. We're going to go over the hate mail that Cardnella's got, man. Okay, keep going.
Okay, Ravens of Brook Cherith says,
Okay.
Ward Radio Roadshow.
The Ward Radio Roadshow. Oh, that's an alliteration off of the R.
Yeah, okay, so that's what we're calling it this episode then.
He was the first to super chat. Does somebody else have a better super chat?
Radio Roadshow. I can't say it.
The Ward Radio Oh, you're right. That is horrible.
Hard.
The Ward Radio Roadshow.
Yeah,
Oh, geez, that is tough.
that's a tongue twister.
Yeah, that's a tongue twister.
Okay, anyway.
Okay, hit it.
Thank you, Ravens. Danny Gray says, Merry Christmas to my Ward Radio family at the Ward Radio Shack. Love you all. Join the
Ward Radio Shack.
Ward Radio Shack.
Okay, so there's Ward Radio Roadshow and the Ward Radio Shack.
Yeah.
The Ward Radio Shack.
These are getting confusing.
Okay, yeah, you're okay. Keep going.
Okay, anyway, Danny says, join the Ward Radio Midnight Mormons. Still alive and well on Discord every evening. Things get weird there.
The Ward Radio Discord is things get weird there. Yeah, it's the wild, wild west on the Ward Radio Discord right now. But I'm going through and I'm learning how to assign moderator roles. I do believe Danny Gray himself has offered to be a moderator.
Also, Merry Christmas back to you, Danny Gray. Thank you so much.
Merry Christmas back to you. Merry Xmas, and I do say Xmas because the Greek sign of XP was the sign for Christ. So actually writing Merry XPmas used to be a way of saying Christ's Mass. And
What?
so, yes. So whenever people say, don't put an X for Christmas, you're taking the Christ out of Christmas. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm just writing it in Greek. So I'm off my soapbox now. But anyway, yeah, I'm getting people into the moderator role. I'm having Cody come down over the next 24 hours, and he's going to help me get that all going. I'm hoping within the week, before the new year, we're going to have a very clearly defined and fun Discord that's going to be a gathering place. It'll be our proverbial church building that can be gathered in at all times of day. And sometimes I even jump in there on the voice channels. And I had a chance to voice chat with some people today. It was pretty cool. Anyway, keep going. We got new members, babe.
Okay, Jenny Fur, used to be Jen F, says, can I get a shout
See a
out?
furry?
Huh?
We don't have a furry in the Ward Radio Wigwam, do we?
Oh, I don't know.
No, just kidding. Just keep going.
She says, can I get a shout out? I've been a member for 2 years and almost 2 months. I have watched/listened to every single episode.
Shut up, really?
Wow. Jennifer is doing better than I am.
Jennifer, oh my gosh, I'm sending you a t-shirt. Have you really watched every video we've done? That's a super fan. And you know what? You've just inspired an idea. I want to make a super fan shirt for just people that go above on the beyond and like blow my mind. Or maybe I just sign it or something. I don't know. We're going to get something cool for, you know what? When I come out with this first bit of merch, which we get paid by Google the last week of the month for all of the, the super chats and the AdSense dollars and the watch minutes and everything like that. And my goal over literally the next 30 to 60 days is get just the hats and the shirts, the first 24 hats, the first 24 shirts out there. And you know what, Jenny Fur, you're going to be first in line for one of those, man, because if you've watched every single video, that's killer. Keep going, Brittany.
I think that's all. I think we're caught up now.
Danny Gray gave away 5 memberships. Did you get them all?
I didn't see that. Okay, hold on. I'm scrolling.
Yeah, I saw 5 memberships were gifted by Danny
Oh, boy.
Gray.
Okay, ready?
Woo-wee!
Ward Radio Road Show wants to welcome Fammer Forever, Fidget the Crazy,
Woo-woo.
Derek McLan,
All right.
Chad Comstock,
Boom, boom.
Logan Garrett,
What's up, Logan?
and I think that's it. Hopefully I
Okay.
said all that right.
Okay.
Anyway,
so,
welcome.
Welcome.
Put a W in the chat for those 5 people. And thank you, Danny Gray, just spreading some Christmas cheer this
Okay,
evening.
so we're going to call you the December 5, just like they had the September 6. We're saying welcome, putting welcome the December 5, and we are putting 5 W's in the chat all at once for the December 5.
I like it.
That's awesome. Thank you, Danny Gray, for your generosity, my man. Thank you very much. Anyway, all right, let's keep going here. So I'm going to put on your screen the rest of the comment here. It says, it's why I love listening to old Benson, Hinckley, Packer, old Holland, old Maxwell, old Oaks, Bednar talks, because they don't mince words. When the church divides, and I hope it does. Ooh, rough. No, you never want to hope for that, my friend. I'll follow the apostles and prophets who speak directly and with boldness, not the ones who speak too softly out of fear of offending the weak, little doctrine of the devil, loving wokeness that's poisoning men and women in the church. Yes, I have to tell you, I see a lot of people really fighting back right now saying, never let them use your good values against you. And I think that's the line in the sand. All right. Don't let them use their good values against you like they have our forefathers, and stay strong. And there's a new generation of leadership that is coming that is better at that. Let's, just be patient. It's coming. I don't think wokeness lasts another 2 or 3 years. I don't think it does. I see an absolute drastic change here in Los Angeles. Salt Lake is more woke than Los Angeles is. Now, we invented woke, so we got it out of our system faster. But yeah, like the world's going to be a lot different 2 or 3 years from now. Hold on, my man. You got help coming, brother. Anyway, this was interesting. Guy said, I had a dream that the church and Catholics came together and changed a lot of things on both sides. He says he didn't understand the dream. All right. But I think, hey, there's going to be a lot of people from other faiths in heaven when we show up there. And I love that play, Nathan the Wise. And I think interfaith work is so important, especially fighting common social ills that are just really attacking society right now. And I look forward to standing hand in hand with all my Catholic brothers and sisters on many initiatives to come, as I have in the past. So your dream doesn't surprise me, bro. Dream doesn't surprise me. Anyway, who here loved? I loved the Green Bible. The Green Bible. What did you think of that episode, babe? What did you think?
I liked it.
That was my favorite to edit.
I thought it was entertaining.
What did you like the most about it?
I don't know. I just like the whole thing.
Okay.
I think it's cool that you found it, by the way.
Yeah. Well, this is nuts. I'm learning more about this book. Now, this comment I tagged because I didn't know if I agreed with it or not. I wanted to talk about it. But this guy with the Gadsden flag says, guys, you aren't seeing any references before 1980 because this tract was written by Ed Decker, as in the Ed Decker of 1977 to 1982 of Federal Way, Washington, that did the God Makers. This tract was huge in the Seattle in the early 1980s. Okay. There is another tract that had a green cover that I found it, and it was an evangelical tract full of a lot of the tropes that are referenced in Temple of the God Makers, but it's not the exact same one. This one is compiled by a guy named Bob White, spelled Bob Whitty. All right. Now, whether or not there's some overlap, whether or not there's some things in the Durbinite Green Anti-Mormon Bible that overlaps or a reprint or things like that, I'm not sure. Whether or not this was huge in the Seattle area, I was unaware of that either. That's why I put up your comment. I find that very interesting. If somebody else could comment in the chat, was this the actual green manual that was big in the 70s up in Seattle, or if it was another, that was interesting. I just wanted to throw that out there. Okay. But either way, I think it's hilarious that people have actually met him and said, hey, what's up, Burger King? This one was hilarious. I had to put this comment up here. This was my favorite comment on the video. He's the nothing Burger King. The fact that whole green book was a nothing burger. And we call Jeff Durbin the Burger King of anti-Mormonism. I thought that was hilarious that he's the nothing Burger King. If you go through the comments of that video, it is so funny. It's nothing but a bunch of plays on words on Burger King. I totally laughed. So anyway, here was another comment that I thought was interesting. Okay, by the way, are we all caught up on Super Chats, babe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, rock on. I screenshot this one because I love what this guy said. He said, yeah, it is always amusing how the stone throwers living in glass houses don't realize the irony of it all. It all starts with a failure to realize how information from God works. Those who apply what they know and grow line upon line and precept upon precept understand this intuitively. But those that don't apply what they know almost always get caught up on words rather than the word. The attacks from antis and exmos amount to the kids in the bleachers jeering at wrestlers on the mat for how funny their uniforms look, etc. Never having had gone through the blood, sweat, and tears of the wrestling practices behind the bleachers day after day. Just empty people that only know how to throw stones as they never actually apply themselves. They fail to move forward, hence damning their own eternal progression. Whited sepulchres, which in their case aren't even appearing to be beautiful outward. Ooh, that was savage. And are indeed inward, full of faith in dead prophets rather than living ones. So interesting. When we talked about the creeds just strangling early Christianity, I see some overtones of that here. He continues, them being your Apologia types, your C.S. Lair types, your John DeLynn types, etc. That this was so profound in so many aspects, like saying that those who apply what they know and grow line upon line and precept upon precept understand this intuitively. But those that don't apply what they know almost always get caught up on words rather than the word. And they spelled the word with the big W instead of the little w that is in the first book of John, which means Jesus. And I thought that is so good and profound, because when you come out and you say sola scriptura and you say the Bible alone is the only authority, which was the rebellion against the Catholic richness and the Catholic authority, because the Catholic authority could say, look, the Catholic Church could say our authority comes straight from Jesus Christ as given to the first Pope Peter and then down from Peter all the way to the modern Pope. And if you don't like it, you're going against the Church of God, because we have the authority of the Church preserved in the tradition of our fathers. Well, Martin Luther needed an excuse to break away from the Catholic Church and say you don't have authority, because if you break away from the church and say they do have authority, well, then your rebellion is no longer a rebellion, it's just a breakaway. And so he came up basically with the creed of sola scriptura, saying only the Bible has authority. But when you strip the authority, I wouldn't say strip the authority from the Catholics, but when you claim that authority comes only from the book and from no other avenue, at the expense of all the other avenues, you really do develop kind of this strange one-sided faith, almost like a motor that's only firing on 5 cylinders, where it becomes so easy to get wrapped up in fights over the original Greek versus the secondary Greek versus the King James translation. I'm not saying those aren't important battles and arguments to have. We have to know what, the early church fathers meant and what the original prophets and apostles meant when they wrote these words. But at the same time, the Bible doesn't give blessings, and priesthood authority has to come from somewhere. And it's not a Bible that comes to visit you when you're sick and you're afflicted. It's not the Bible that mourns with you when you're mourns. It's other Christians. And there's other ways of feeling the Spirit and learning truth than just the book, right? And so, I felt what this guy was saying, where he said, what was it again? That those that don't apply what they know, learning the process of line upon line, precept upon precept, will always get caught up on words rather than the word. I thought that was super profound and super cool. So I'll put that on the screen one more time. Anyway, I'm veering verbose, babe. We're getting a bunch of super chats.
Yeah, you want to?
Yeah, why don't you catch us up on the super chats here?
Okay, Jared Anderson says, Cardin, please tell me you're working on your 30 Rules to Anti-Mormons book.
Yes, it's going to be more of a little bit of a pamphlet, maybe an online PDF.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, I'll make it orange. Anyway, no, it'd have to be a tasteful blue, because that's ironically the motif that we got going on here. Anyway, we're working on it. It's in line behind the merch, but it's definitely top 5 thing that I'm doing.
We have a whole pipeline that is bursting at the seams.
Yeah, exactly. But that is getting done, I would estimate, within the next 3 to 6 months. So keep going, Brittany.
Okay, Danny Gray says, y'all, don't forget to like the stream and share the Ward Radio washroom. I don't know, just throwing crap out there now with your friends. Yes, like the live stream and share it.
Yes, awesome.
Thank
okay,
you,
cool. The
Danny
Ward Radio
Gray.
washroom. All right, the Ward Radio washroom. Thank you very much, Danny Gray.
You
Okay,
heard
next
it.
one. Hit it, Brittany.
Next one. Thomas and Sheila Rock says, when is Dawn back? Want info on the Kane BF story? What's that?
Oh gosh, let me see this. Let me see if I can find the Merry Christmas. Danny Gray.
It's in blue, if that helps you.
It's in blue.
Right
Yeah,
there,
here we
you
go.
passed it.
Okay. When is Dawn back? Want info on the Kane / boyfriend story?
I don't know.
What's the BF story?
best friend?
Best friend. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Dawn's coming back next week. Actually, we've recorded a video, so you guys are going to be able to watch that. I think that one's coming out after Christmas, but we're recording again with him shortly. And dude, there's 2 or 3 Don Bradley videos coming out in the next couple
Okay,
of
chat is
couple of
saying
weeks.
BF
Pretty
means
excited.
Bigfoot.
Oh, duh. I'm such an idiot. Yes. Kane and Bigfoot story. That's cool. You know what? We got a video about Bigfoot being created in a lab that's on the docket to record with Kwaku and Brad here in the next couple of weeks. So I'm thinking within 3 or 4 weeks that video is coming out. But you know what? We will make a special video with Don Bradley about Kane and Bigfoot. We're going to do that next time I
Does
see
he
him. We're
think
going to do that.
Kane is Bigfoot?
You know what? We're going to save that for the show. We're going to save it for the show. What do you think? Do you think Kane's Bigfoot?
I've never thought about it till right now.
Really?
But no, I don't think so.
You don't know the whole story about Kane being Bigfoot?
No. Is that like a thing? Do people believe that?
Oh, dude, this is one of the coolest tenets of Mormonism.
Really?
You're not really Mormon unless you know with a firm testimony that Kane is Bigfoot.
I feel like you're being Jonah Barnes right now, and I can't take you seriously.
Okay, there was actually a lot of folklore in the early church about Cain being Bigfoot because there was a third-hand story from a member of the church that was like quoting his father who was disaffected, who said that his grandfather had heard this story from, I don't remember who, but he was walking home one day and then this really ugly, hairy man came next to him on his horse and said, you know, I am Cain, I am cursed to walk the earth. And he said that he met Cain. And then there were some early pioneers that had surmised that this encounter with Cain was the Bigfoot story, the Sasquatch story that you hear throughout the Intermountain West. And so some early pioneers, some of them even like early stake presidents, and I think even an apostle or something like that, said that he believed that Cain was Bigfoot. And this ultimately ended up getting repeated, I believe, in Spencer W. Kimball's book, The Miracle of Forgiveness, where there was some kind of reference to Cain being Bigfoot. So it's part of Mormon folklore that's not official doctrine.
So who do we believe is the Loch Ness Monster?
That's a really good question. Might just be Leviathan from the Old Testament.
I've never
You know what
heard
I'm
of that
saying?
person. Leviathan? All right.
Leviathan? Yeah. Oh, man. All right.
The Old
hit it.
Testament's weird. I don't know.
Okay, keep
Okay.
going.
We have a new member,
Okay.
Axel Chastain.
Okay.
Chastain. Anyway, welcome to the Word Radio Road Show. Oh, I can't say that. Put a W in the chat for Axel. Thank you so much for joining. We're so glad to have you.
All right. Awesome. And then there was a couple of other super chats here, right?
Yep. Okay. Rex Good says, I keep thinking about what the swimsuit show would have been like if me and my posse did a similar show about BYU and Chippendale dancers. You should totally pitch that idea to BYU.
Okay, you know, I guess we're gonna have to cover the BYU swimsuit edition video. There was a lot of people that were really mad in those comments, man.
Why is this such like a big? I don't know. I didn't watch the episode. Sorry.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to watch it. And anyway.
Okay, and more super chats. Ready?
Yeah, hit the super chat.
Gare Bears World 101 says you guys should get Bishop Mari Emanuel on.
Who's that?
I don't know. Mary?
I don't know. I'll have to check that out.
Okay.
Watch it. Somebody totally obvious that I totally know who it is, but I'm just brain farting right now. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Okay.
Hey, hook us up. By the way, a lot of times a lot of people say, hey, you should get so-and-so on your show. Well, you know what? Reach out. Say, hey, I'm a fan of this show. They've said they'd love to talk to you. I've had actually members of this channel and viewers of this program and listeners of our radio program reach out to other people and help facilitate collaborations. I can't do it all, but I'm willing to talk to anybody pretty much. So if you have a connection with these people, if not just a mutual fandom, reach out. You'd be surprised. Oftentimes these people have producers and people that answer their emails. And I've had multiple people that are viewers of the show get me connected with other people, and we've made it happen. So it's a lot harder than you think. It's not as simple as an email and then a Zoom link and he'll just come on. There's a lot of back and forth that goes on producing this kind of content. But if you want to, then boom shakalaka, reach out and see if you can't connect us, because that's happened before in the past. It's pretty awesome. Brittany, continue.
Okay, Jason Gast gifted a Ward Radio membership to the Haystack. All members that can welcome the Haystack to the Ward Radio Road Show, please put a W in the chat. Welcome the Haystack.
All right, Haystack. W for Haystack.
Next super chat. Thomas and Sheila Rock says, you are welcome, Brittany. I don't remember why I'm being welcome. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But thank you for
Thank
you're
you
welcome.
so
Thank
much.
you for the super chat. You're awesome. And that's probably us botching it, not remembering why. Anyway, keep going.
Hold on. Alicia Brown just sends a super chat. Thank you so much.
Aimed Music says, last time I tried to reach out, I got ignored. What?
Who said that?
Stop it. I did change servers from Gmail, however, to wardradio.com recently, and I lost all the previous emails. So there were some email conversations with about 50 or 60 people that had some good ideas for the show that I lost, and I can't get them back. So there's a lot of people that have said, I reached out to you and then I haven't heard back from you again. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. Just reach out through the website, because now it goes to a different email address. So that might explain Aimed Music. I apologize. But we're growing. These are all good problems to have. And I know it's frustrating because I still do try and correspond as best I can with everybody that reaches out, has ideas, has questions, concerns, so on and so forth. But with that growth has come growing pains, unfortunately. And that's one of the growing pains. But hey, super chatting here. We always listen. So got anything to say? Boom, send us a super chat. We're going to read it on air, respond as best we can. It's why we love live streaming so much, because it happens live and in real time. There's no avoiding it. It's awesome. Brittany, go.
Okay, Darren Brower says, I got thrown into teaching gospel doctrine last minute. That's like my number one worst fear. Plagiarizing some of the Seven Seals episode helped me keep the class entertaining. You rock.
All right.
Awesome.
Rock on. Do you have a picture, Darren? I want a picture of you using a clip of Ward Radio in Sunday school. I want a picture. That would be epic, and that's going to be a future. In fact, do you remember when PewDiePie did the subscribe to PewDiePie campaign?
No.
Okay. There was this podcaster on YouTube called PewDiePie. And he did this whole thing where if people would do the wildest thing, at first he would pay people $5 on Fiverr to make some video that says like subscribe to PewDiePie, doing something crazy. So he'd get like an African guy on Fiverr to put up a sign next to like a tiger that says subscribe to PewDiePie. And he'd get somebody that could do backflips, doing backflips saying subscribe to PewDiePie. And then ultimately it got so big that there were people who were programming parades down like the main street of their town, just saying like subscribe to PewDiePie with giant signs. It was like this big thing. I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. I would love to see people using Ward Radio in lessons. You know what I'm saying? So I won't say subscribe to Ward Radio. I'm not going to rip off PewDiePie. But if I could get multiple photos of how people have used clips from this show in different ecclesiastical situations in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, that would be even better than subscribe to PewDiePie. That would be so funny. I would laugh. I would make an entire show just out of that. It would be amazing. In fact, I'm putting that on my list. I'm going to put that on my list here. Subscribe to Ward Radio, the Ward Radio Shack, the Ward Radio Weird Room, the Ward Radio Wigwam. And what was the other one, babe?
Worship.
The Ward Radio Worship. That was your idea right here. Okay, cool. Boom. I got my multicolored pen right here. I'm just writing subscribe to PewDiePie contest. And I'm going to
Darren
know
says,
exactly
I was so
what that
tempted
is.
to actually play a part of the episode. However, I wimped out and just quoted it. Sorry.
Oh, dude. No, you got to play it, brah. You got to play it.
Aimed music.
Uh-huh.
She said, or he says, I used Ward Radio quotes in seminary before.
All right.
That's
rock
cool.
on. I do remember somebody saying that they were showing them off in seminary. Wow, that's cool. That's way cool.
That's awesome.
Okay, so anyway, Polly
Hold
Nike
on.
says, yeah.
The Dove's Nest says, Carden, the problem is we couldn't play your videos in Sunday school classes because our tech is so old.
That's true. It's a problem, man. It's a problem. So, dude, I'm going to get some kind of sponsorship, some kind of scholarship program for any church building that wants a new TV.
There you go.
Budget to install it, but it has to have a Ward Radio QR code on there. Else when it boots up, it shows the Ward Radio logo or something. That'd be awesome.
Man.
Church would never allow it, but that'd be really funny. Anyway.
Alicia Brown says, Merry Christmas from the Aussies of the Ward.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you so
Friends Down
much.
Under. Rock on. Okay, here's another hilarious one from the Jeff Durbin video that was really, really funny that I had to put up there. They were starting to figure out ways that they could nicely say hi to the Burger King, because there's many of our viewers that actually live in Tempe, Arizona. There's many viewers that live next to the Arizona Temple, or have bumped into the Apologia Studios people. And they thought, hey, if we ever meet them, we don't want to be combative. We want to be nice. And, we would never have anybody in our channel feel compelled or not coerced, but convinced to do anything other than just be a loving representative of Jesus Christ when you meet another one of the children of God, no matter how they've treated us. But there are some funny one-liners that have come out of the comment section. For example, like, hey, guys, what you been Durbin lately? Whoa, that's a whopper.
Oh, my.
That one was pretty funny. The Nothing Burger King, that was pretty funny. And I'm going to read a couple of the other comments that came from the Green Bible one before we do the Sports Illustrated one. I thought this one was interesting. He said, Antis, what would you have us do? This is Kyle's 9653. Says, seriously, profess Jesus is our Savior again? Stop reading the Bible? Stop centering our lives around Jesus? And I completely feel, it's like, what do these evangelical YouTubers want Christians to do that say we're not Christian? Like, what do you really want us to do? We profess in both our baptism, in our sacrament, and our daily scripture reading, and in our prayer that Jesus is the Christ. And it's the exact same Christ of the Bible that had 12 apostles. I don't get what their problem is. They try and do this weird technicality of like, oh, well, your interpretation of Christ is slightly different than ours. Yeah, well, sorry, your Calvinist interpretation is different than the Presbyterian one, is different than the Church of Rome's, is different than the Anglican churches, is different than Church on the Way, is different than the local Pentecostal church. And you don't do this to them. So why do you do it to us? And what can we do to get out of your proverbial doghouse? If you really were pastors and preachers that were interested in our spiritual well-being, and not just tribal chiefs, interested in tribalism, what would you have us do? Okay? We can't profess any more than we already do that Jesus is our Savior. It is literally the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Jesus Christ is in our name. On the Book of Mormon, it literally says another testament of who? Mormon? No, of Jesus Christ. So holy smoke, stop centering our lives around Jesus. I know this every morning when I get up and I pray with my family, when I leave the door, when I come back, when we do lessons of family home evening, and we do young men and young women's lessons. Who is it about? Jesus Christ, his apostles, his prophets. Like, it's like, What do you want us to do? Stop bringing others under Christ? What do you think missionaries do? We don't bring them unto Joseph Smith. We bring them unto Christ, and they get baptized in his name as well. It says only to continue to profess Jesus, continue to read the Bible, continue to center our lives around Jesus, and continue to bring others to Christ, just to join you in the mass confusion of over 45,000 different other Christian denominations who can't agree on doctrine. Are you trying to save us or stop us? That's the real crux of the question. Are you trying to save us or stop us? And here, our friend Kyle's 9653 found the true nature of all these guys. Mike Winger, Apologia Studios, all of the anti-Mormon evangelical Christians online. They're not interested in saving us. They're interested in stopping us. Because if they were interested in saving us, they'd have that kind of conversation, but they're not. They're interested in stopping us. And that, my friends, will fail. And it will fail because it has always failed. Whenever the church of God is in the face of those trying to stop it, whether it was the Sadducees in the early church, okay, trying to stop Christ himself, trying to stop the early Christians, trying to persecute the early Christians, whether it's them, whether it's the establishment religion of old or of modern days, the religious establishment of North America. They need to choose whether they're trying to save us or stop us. And guess what? They're not trying to save us. They're trying to stop us. Therefore, they will fail. So, good on you, Kyle's 9653. Well spoken. Well said, my friend. Move on to the next one. Epic Rackham.
We have some super chats.
Oh, hit it.
Joseph,
you got to get that bottle off of your screen.
Oh,
It's
sorry. my bottle.
Yeah, the Yeti? That's not a Yeti. That's a Stanley.
No, this is a Yeti.
Oh, it's a Yeti.
I have
okay.
Yetis. I do not have Stanleys.
Okay, cool. Well,
that
hit
could
it.
cause a debate. Okay. Joseph Horn says, speaking of reaching out with ideas, do you respond to Instagram messages, Cardin? I sent you a good one. No, he does not. He is not good with Instagram.
Instagram, that's a girl platform.
Yeah.
So I got to get better at it, bro. I got to get better at it. Kwaku's really good at it.
Yeah. No, I have to tell him if he has Instagram. He's not great with Instagram.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah, how many text messages are on your phone right now, Cardin?
255. I just checked before we got on the show.
Yeah, and Instagram is even worse.
Yeah.
So sorry, Joseph. Sorry. Brother Cheerio. The Cain Bigfoot story was recorded by Abraham Smoot. It came from Apostle David W. Patton. I've always found it interesting because it's from the 1800s.
Yeah,
wow.
well,
I never knew this was a thing. This is apparently a really documented big thing.
okay, there's a good video by David Snell on Faith and Beliefs that just came out 2 or 3 weeks ago about is Cain Bigfoot according to Mormon doctrine, that clarifies a lot of the... I think that's the most phenomenal content put out by Scriptural Central. It's the only stuff they make that I watch, is the Faith and Beliefs section, and it's phenomenal. It's run by a guy named David Snell, and he just did a banger production on it. We're going to do our own on it. That's pretty cool. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. Anyway, keep going, Brittany.
Okay. Next one is Gare Bears World 101. Says... Bishop Emmanuel is an Assyrian Orthodox bishop in Australia. He's going very viral right now. I would love to see the interfaith discussion. Cool. Sounds awesome.
I'm down. I just had a Catholic, not bishop, but a Catholic priest from Minnesota or one of the other Midwestern states reach out on the website and say, hey, I love watching your stuff. You know, I'm ordained Catholic priest, not interested in, converting or anything, but I'd love to have maybe a dialogue with you and yada yada this and that. I said, dude, are you kidding me? Anytime, anywhere. So hopefully that's going to happen once I get back on the email train there. Anyway, keep going, Brittany, keepress of the chats.
Okay. Minor Prophet Ian Malcolm says Kyle Jensen in chat is RM. What should he do now? Oh, he's a returned missionary. So what should he do now?
What was the question again?
Kyle Jensen in chat is RM. What should he do now?
Oh, yeah,
I think
saw
he's a
that.
returned missionary. What should he do now?
You know what you should do? First off, don't take my advice. Take your Father in Heaven's advice. Prayerfully consider your next move. Prayerfully consider your next move. And don't have it be what your parents think you should do. Don't have it be what you think I should do. Don't have it be what Brittany the Shadow thinks you should do.
And don't feel pressure to go into college.
Yeah. Have it be what your Father in heaven thinks you should do and what your gut tells you to do. Now, when in doubt, I think education is a very worthwhile goal. Okay. At the same time, it's not worthwhile if you have to go into large amounts of debt for it. So, and by the way, education is not all collegiate. If you can learn a trade and start making money right away, do that. Also, what do you want to do? All of us have dreams. There's nothing wrong with pursuing a dream. And too often people think, okay, well, if I want to be a Broadway technician for theater on Broadway, and I've always really liked it. I've loved the theater and I've loved the science behind like set building and set design, everything like that. Well, okay, I'll have to go to college and learn construction management and then maybe work as a contractor for a while until I have enough money to volunteer at a local regional theater where maybe I might get some experience. So finally I can make it. No, forget all that crap. Literally pack your bags, buy a ticket to Broadway, show up there and say, I'm here to learn and I'll work for you the first 2 weeks for free. Like, just teach me the trade. There is not enough talented, willing, and able-bodied people in any of these industries that if you show up, they'll say, screw, I don't care if you don't have a degree. Oh, you're willing to swing a hammer with me? Okay, cool. You will literally have a Tony Award-winning Broadway set decorator teaching you how to build sets within 2 weeks. If you show up there and say, I'm here, willing and able and ready to learn, and you throw yourself at that thing. Nothing else. Eye to the prize. You will get there, you know. Now, if you want to be a doctor, immediately enroll in college. Get through your undergrad as soon as you can. I recommend you get married before you have to do your residency, though, because that's a social life killer. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be an accountant, if you want to be a tradesman, or whatever. If you're just like, I don't really care what I do professionally, I have some passions that I want to have money for, then I would recommend getting involved in a trade that's lucrative and doesn't require all of your time, and there's plenty of those out there. But yes, it must be prayerfully considered. And look at people whose lives you would like to emulate. Look at people who seem happy in the way that you want to be happy, that have the things that you want to have, whether it's the smoking hot wife and cute kids like I do, okay? Or whether it's the awesome portfolio, whether it's the radio show, the podcast, the cool house, the baseball field, the resume, whatever it is. Look at people that have what you want to have and say, how'd you get there? Everybody loves helping other people. Anyway, I could talk about this for hours. Brittany, next super chat.
Okay, next one is Daisy D.A. Ward Radio World. Oh, that's another tongue twister.
Yeah, the Ward Radio World.
Yeah.
Welcome to Ward Radio Worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Man, yeah, we got to iron that out still. But that's a good data point
I
to
still
consider.
like my own idea.
The Ward Radio Warship.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, next one. Hit it.
Okay, Jack Mallory says, I was supposed to teach Kwaku in the MTC as a practice lesson, but he ditched and we were left high and dry.
Oh, no. What?
Sorry.
Wait, read that one again?
I was supposed to teach Kwaku in the MTC as a practice lesson, but he ditched and we were left high and dry.
Oh, well, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I love Kwaku. He's my boy. You know what I'm saying? I will defend that brother to the death. But sometimes he does remind me a little bit of that song. How do you solve a problem like Maria?
Oh,
how do you catch a wave upon the sand?
Look, in his defense, we don't know how old he is, okay? So,
sometimes he's a little tough to pin down. Now, with that said, I know for a fact he would be totally down with doing that again with some new missionaries. Who knows? Maybe when we go up to the MTC, we just do a fake missionary volunteer in that.
Can you cold call the MTC?
I'm willing to try.
Can you just show up and be like, hey, what can I do?
I'm totally willing to try. So anyway, okay, cool. Keep going, Brittany.
No, we're all caught up.
Oh, we're all caught up. Okay, cool. So anyway, this was an interesting
nope, we're not
comment.
caught up.
Oh, we're not caught
One
up?
just slipped on in there.
Oh, okay. Well, hit it. Read it.
It's Carolyn.
Okay. Carolyn Wright Gaines music.
There you go.
Oh, she's back.
She
Carolyn,
says, Merry Christmas from Idaho. Keep up the great work.
where have you been? Carolyn, it's been weeks. What's happening to us? What do they have that we don't have? I'm just kidding. Carolyn Wright Gaines Music. Glad to see you again. Sister from another mister up in Idaho. And yes, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to all. In fact, I've got some really cool goals for 2024. One of them is member highlights. It's only been in the past 6 weeks that we've actually had a robust membership in the ward, because I also haven't until just the past 2 or 3 weeks started giving members only content out. But I finally made good on that promise. Sometimes it takes me a little bit longer than I like, but we're making good on some serious promises here. We made good on our promise to get the Discord going. It's been a little bit tough going. It's been a little bit hard to get going on, but the Discord is up and rolling. It's rocking and rolling as we speak. Also, we made good on the promise to start making more members-only content. So the people that have joined the channel and have subscribed to our channel, just like Carolyn Wright Gaines Music, are now being rewarded with members-only content. And it's good stuff. The members are loving it, and they're getting to see it earlier. They're getting to see it faster and further, and it's really cool. And another promise that I'm going to make good on, hopefully by 2024, besides the merch, okay, is I actually want to start doing highlights. Like cool little member highlights, just like we used to do in the 80s and 90s. But I want to do it for the Ward Radio Worldwide Wigwam and Warship and Radio Shack. Oh, no, that didn't start with a W. That didn't work. I want to do that in 2024 for us. So that's coming. Thank you, Carolyn Wright Gaines Music. Glad to have you back with us. This was awesome. Okay, here's another comment that I thought was really kind of interesting.
And then,
yeah.
not to be like a Debbie Downer, but when's our hard out? Because
goodness gracious, we are. Oh, this is
warning.
supposed to be a 1 hour. Yeah, okay. We only got 12 minutes left, guys. We only got 12 minutes. You know what? We're going to have to burn through a lot of these comments. Okay, here's another comment right here. Had another person that says, you keep complaining that the book uses only non-modern sources. You mean prophets called of God who hold the priesthood, who are guided by God? Those sources? Da-da-da. Okay, funny Eagle Powers. But then another guy, Keen 2787, complained that at 23 minutes and 33 seconds in to our Burger King Jeff video, he says, oh, this comment will probably get deleted again. First off, we don't delete comments unless you post some kind of like PORN links or something heinous like that. And most of the moderation of our YouTube channel is actually done algorithmically by YouTube, not by us. So these attacks of like, oh, you delete comments, sorry, they're falling on deaf ears. I am almost a free speech purist. I do have some very small guide rails to that, but at the end of the day, we don't delete comments. That's a false accusation. And anything previously you said, unless it was something heinous that might have gotten flagged by YouTube, it was not deleted by us. I can promise you that, my friend. So anyway, he says, he took issue with our Pew Research comment that Mormons are better at their scriptures. So I literally just Googled it. I'm putting it on the screen for you right here. Overall knowledge of the Bible. Overall, Mormons score best on these items, answering an average of 5.7 of the 7 Bible questions correctly. Who knows what about religion? Pew Research Center. Now, yes, sure, there's some sub areas where maybe when it comes to like Old Testament scripture or New Testament scripture, maybe when it comes to like reciting common creeds or whatever, evangelicals might do better in this regard, or else Hasidic Jews might do better in that regard, or else Ashkenazi Jews might do better in this regard, or maybe Presbyterians might do better in that category. But I'm talking about the big daddy here, okay, of just overall knowledge of the Bible. And overall, Mormons score the best on most items in most categories, answering an average of 5.7 of the Bible questions correctly. So, guys, I don't know what else to tell you other than the proof is in the pudding right there. Now, sure, there might have been a more recent study. This one I do believe was done in September 28th of 2010, where, you know, maybe in this category, it always dips between the best of our Jewish brothers and sisters, best of our Mormon brothers and sisters, and the best of our evangelical brothers and sisters. Generally, when it comes to overall knowledge of the Bible, Mormons have consistently done well in this category because we have early morning seminary, we have a Sunday school on Sundays, we have family home evenings, and also daily scripture study. So the amount of religious education that the average family member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints puts in before, they go serve their missions or they go get married themselves and so on and so forth is really unparalleled in North American society. So generally they're going to do best. Now, in every year, are they going to? No. BYU competes every year for the national championship in volleyball with Stanford and with UCLA and with a couple of other colleges. Do they win every year? No. But are they batting average better than most universities, if not all the rest of them? Yes. It's like the Yankees. They've just won more over time. Okay. And you just can't fight the stats. Okay. So anyway, there's the stats right there. Pew Research. It's the number one hit when you Google Mormons in Scripture and Pew Research. All right. So anyway, he then continues to say, okay, look up Pew Research done in February of 2019. According to the study, evangelicals technically know more about the Bible than Mormons, 5.2 out of 7 compared to 5.1 out of 7. To say anything else is do exactly what you accuse Jeff Durbin of doing. If you see this comment, then you don't. Ask yourself why it keeps getting deleted. Okay, well, first off, we'll go look up at your report. Let's make sure it's the same category you're talking about. And at the end of the day, bruh, chill, my man. Okay. Over time, it's okay. You're in the top 3. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to be the best at everything. Okay? Like, just calm down. Nobody's deleting your comments. And I'll see if the math that you were suggesting is correct. But, dude, chill. Okay? It's okay to be second place in a really, really good race. All right? You're still a silver medalist. You still went to the Olympics. Okay? Anyway.
That's the kid in school that, your teacher was like, okay, we can have a pop quiz or we can go do this. And he was like, oh, pop quiz. And the rest of the class was like, oh,
yeah,
that's that guy.
Yeah. Well, here's another comment. We only unfortunately have, oh gosh, man, now we're down to just another 4 or 5 minutes. If you have any last burning questions, make sure that you guys put them in Super Chat form. We'll do our best to read them on screen. But here's the last couple of comments. Here, Brigham Young's son was a drag queen. Who gives a crap? And I just had to say, yawn, another twisted pseudo-historical fact that's not true. It's really funny, but Brigham Young was actually really involved in the arts and cultivating culture within Salt Lake. He didn't want it just to be a backwater agricultural farm town. So one of the first buildings that he built was a theater, and he actually encouraged his many daughters, who were kind of the popular ones in town at the time, to become actors and actresses in that theater. Now, back then, it was actually considered socially taboo to have many females on stage in certain situations. So those roles were actually filled by men. And so as an actor, he would often cross-dress and wear women's clothing on stage. Now, I'm not a historical guru on this. I've just seen the debunkings of the whole Brigham Young was a drag queen video, and they seem to hold water, and they reference the fact that back then it was a little bit more socially taboo to have that many actresses on stage, so oftentimes he would do it. And it's actually hilarious and it's funny, and there's literally pictures on the internet of Brigham Young, his son wearing a dress or something. I don't remember all the details, but I do remember this whole soundbite that Brigham's son was a drag queen is definitely not historically accurate. So hey, that's another video that we got to do a debunking on. That would be actually quite hilarious. In fact, I'm putting this on the list. Brigham Young's son being a drag queen. I'm actually going to call it RuPaul and see if he doesn't want to do a collab, right? So anyway, I thought this one was interesting too. As a Catholic convert to the LDS Church, I must say that many people, including myself, never believed/followed the Pope anyway. I became atheist after Catholicism, but was led back to Jesus through the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And she was referencing the funny joke that many Catholics have made, saying that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the only church that says, that the Catholic Church is the only church that says the Pope is infallible, that their leader is infallible, and nobody believes it. And the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the only church that says their leader is not infallible, and everybody believes that he is infallible. And so that was kind of a funny criticism that a Catholic scholar made of the culture of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints that I think is 100% accurate. Not 100%, it's getting better. But yeah, I think that's hilarious. And I'm glad to see many of our Catholic brothers and sisters who have maybe strayed from the faithful path, who have come back through the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I welcome them to the Ward Radio Wigwam. I love my Catholic brothers and sisters. I prayed so hard, so often with, do you remember the Catholic chaplain in Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, babe? What was his name?
I don't remember.
True or not true, he was a handsome brother.
Yeah.
He was like the freaking
He was young too.
Yeah, he was like should have been a male model. He like quit minor league baseball, I think, to become a priest. And he would come in and he would check in on us. And he knew we were members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and he didn't care. He's like, I'm here to pray with you. I'm here to bless your daughter. And I said, welcome it. God bless my man. We became friends with him, and he was a phenomenal individual. And to this day, I wish I knew his name. I got to go down there when we volunteer or something like that. I'm going to get his name. But one of the best and brightest, most amazing Catholic men I ever knew were some of the priests that actually volunteered at Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. And I think God bless them. God bless every one of their efforts. I think they will be saved in the kingdom of God for what they do. And just all I can say is God bless to those guys. So
ready for a super chat?
Yeah, let's hit a super chat. Then we got another couple of comments.
Darren Brower says, second and last super chat for me until Kwaku recants his hate of my beloved Arizona/ASU. I'll await his full and sincere apology.
That is becoming such a meme. By the way, he will be condemned to marrying a woman from Arizona just for saying that, because I swore I'd never date a girl that was a cheerleader, and look what happened. Boom,
I was only a
shakalaka.
cheerleader for a year, though. Does that really count?
Look, does one cockroach in the ice cream make the ice cream still good?
Am I a cockroach?
No, do you remember the Mormon ad from the 90s that showed a cockroach in the ice cream?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, that was pretty funny.
I still like that one that says family. Isn't it about time?
Yeah. So anyway, here's another comment. Then we got another super chat. Here we are with Don Bradley talking about, is the Pope going woke? And Christopher Walke 1993 says, this channel is awesome. My faith in the gospel has increased so much. And Stomp Mom says, yes, it's pretty epic. Thank you so much for those comments, guys. And Stomp Mom, you got mad at me later on in the comments, and I'm gonna remind you of this right here. I'm gonna remind you that once upon a time you actually liked me, because later on she got a little bit angry at me, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But
what did you do?
It was kind of funny. Well, it was the Sports Illustrated issue.
Why is everyone so up in arms over that episode? I gotta watch that.
They think I didn't condemn BYU bad enough or something. I don't know. I didn't yell at the sky in a plaid shirt and a Carhartt hat like Jacob did. But anyway, we had a lot of other people here. When I said, did the Pope go woke? This is really interesting. I got a lot of hate in that video where it said the Pope did not approve same-sex blessings, so stop sharing lies. It's no different than what the LDS Church teaches about those that are not in the same-sex union, struggling with the same-sex, this and that. There's not one LDS person that can tell me if God goes to the bishop's office asking for a blessing of healing, strength, and comfort from illness, or for a safe trip. The bishop will tell them no. That is what the Pope approved. Pastoral blessings. But while we're on the subject, I have witnessing this and that. Okay. And then Luke, of course, jumps in and says, that is what Ward Radio is all about, the spread of misinformation. What's so interesting is this comment was done. Is the Pope going woke? Actually had nothing to do with the same-sex blessings that the Pope approved. That was actually in a live stream much later. This video was edited and released at least a day earlier, I think, or maybe it might have been the same day in the morning, but it was recorded like a week before that was even mentioned, and it actually had to do with the firing of that bishop down in Texas. So the question about is the Pope going woke was actually not geared towards the pastoral blessings, but if you watched it, it was geared towards the firing of Bishop Strickland in Texas. And so I actually think that Catherine McDavid just didn't actually watch the video, which I notice oftentimes the most hateful comments that we get are the most ill-informed, but antis being antis, they jump on the bandwagon. Here's Luke saying that's what Ward Radio is about, the spread of misinformation. No, actually, Luke, if you were interested in not spreading misinformation, you would have said, actually, that's not what this video was about. So I thought that was kind of interesting, and I put that one up there, but not a big deal. Let's talk something positive. This is a screenshot that was sent to me by Jacob Hansen. We only got another 2 minutes here, guys, by the way. So if you got any last super chats, get them out of your system. This is really cool. He said, that's true, man. Hey, just want to say thank you to you and Jacob and the Ward Radio boys. Man, you guys have really helped me get back on track since I've been excommunicated for 7 years, and your videos really help. And dude, that's awesome. So we got a brother here who was excommunicated 7 years ago, and he's, quote, getting back on track. I don't know what that means, but he wants to thank Jacob Hansen and Ward Radio for helping him out. I think that's great. We've been asked to do a response video to Ex-Mormon Speaks Out with Peter Santinello, which could be in the works. If you guys are interested in that, please let us know in the chat before we go if that's something you'd like to see us responding to, okay? And then we'll just burn through the Sports Illustrated comments because they were pretty savage. Here's the first one: based Jacob L for anyone else. Man, I gotta tell you, I don't know why people were so mad. Like, again, I think it's one thing to say, look, I don't think it's a big deal. There's bigger fish to fry. Than saying, okay, that's not a sin or it's not bad. Things can be bad and also not a big deal at the same time. And that's kind of where I stand. But apparently that wasn't good enough for a lot of really conservative members of the Ward Radio Wigwam. So they got a little bit angry and said, based Jacob, L for everyone else. We all know Jacob is right, and I think everyone else was needed to give proper pushback to have a good episode. Deep down, they know it's wrong. Jacob for the win. He's getting a lot of love here, and we're getting a lot of just disappointed eye rolls, you know. Anyway, this one was pretty hilarious. Jacob is absolutely correct on this. If I were in the room listening to these swimsuit models speak on women empowerment, I would not take what they said seriously. I'm with Jacob on this. BYU continues to flop. Now there are those among us who are trying to serve the Lord without offending the devil. Marion G. Romney. Ooh, rough. We were getting a lot of pushback on that one. And then Sabrina Macy says she's with Jacob on every level. Modeling itself as a slippery slope into dark corners of the world, drugs. Okay, now this is where I push back and I say I don't think that's a well-informed opinion. I was a model myself for a short period of time 50 pounds ago. Okay, that's one of the things that actually got me into producing and to acting and so on and so forth. And to say that it's a slippery slope into the dark corners of the world, to me that seems like a little bit of Protestant Christian right in the 80s. That's not fair. There's, believe it or not, the bishop and the bishop's wife of the Manhattan ward that I was in were actually recruiters for Ford models, and they helped lots of girls get jobs. Mormon women are beautiful, and you don't realize how many of these girls that you see in anthropology. I dated the girl that was the legs and feet of the Steve Madden catalog for a while. She was in all kinds of bridal shots and videos and so on and so forth. I had a girlfriend that ended up being on the cover of Popular Mechanics and a couple of athletic shoots for Nike and different sports apparel companies, things like that. Modeling is an industry just like anything else that requires just as much self-discipline and self-respect and professionalism as a lot of other industries. And I don't think it is a slippery slope into evil. I think it can be abused easily. And there is a lot of abuse in the industry if you don't stick to your moral guns and you allow other people to do your thinking for you. But yeah, just because I don't take the take that it's a slippery slope doesn't mean that, I'm, what's it called? I'm one with the enemy, right? This one was funny when bringing back Stomp Mom. She said, listen to you guys talk about women like a platter of food is the reason I raised my kids to be modest boys and to speak about girls with some dignity. Brittany, you like this one, right? I think this is your favorite one right here, okay? So she continues, and she says, I played some of this for my young adult girls who laughed and said, men like this remind me why I'm not selling my body or giving out free samples. Okay, I don't think modeling is selling your body, but this is a really funny comment. Now, boys, we speak the gospel and defend the church, but when chastity is in question, you all put their religion away. I totally get a lot of women use their body, this and that. This was my response here. What did you think of my response, babe?
I thought it was funny.
You thought it was funny, so did I. I said, look, we don't talk about women like they're a platter of food. We are classier than that. We prefer to talk about them like a charcuterie. That's better, like a charcuterie. Does that soften the edge, babe?
It does. It
It
definitely
does?
softens the edge, and
Okay, cool.
now I want a charcuterie. Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, got a couple more here. Jacob's the only one who seems sane in this conversation. Every else is a little fishy with backing skimpy models. That's funny. We're not backing skimpy models. The models are skinny. The outfits are skimpy. But no, that's why I said that one, and yeah, I don't know if that was super well received. But this one I thought was a little bit over the top too, saying it's horrifying that only Jacob seems to have his head screwed on right when it comes to this topic. Absolutely horrifying. And I just said Blumhouse is writing a script as we speak. It's called 3 Podcasters Who Just Don't Get It Right. But you better watch out. It's rated R. So anyway, yeah.
I got to watch that episode.
Yeah, I was about to say, it was apparently we took a wrong turn somewhere. But yeah, it was pretty funny. I think it was good content. But enough of what's behind us. We got some great things coming up. It was members only for the first 24 hours, but now it is in the public domain. There's unfortunately an 8-second area where I edited something wrong, so you get a black screen for like 5 to 8 seconds, like 42 minutes in. But we just made a great video, and I'm going to pull it up right here. A great video on the locations of the Book of Mormon that's coming out, and it's freaking awesome. So you guys got to make sure that you check out that one as well. And it's literally right here, top right, the real location of the Book of Mormon and where it really happened. It's already got 2,500 views in the past 5 hours. You got to check it out. Here's the one that you missed, Fire and Fireside. You know what I'm saying? That's the one you missed. But that's a super cool video in which we analyze Book of Mormon.online, made by our friend Casey Kern. If you guys haven't had a chance to see it yet, it's super cool, and we think you guys are going to enjoy it. David King says, Merry Christmas, you Ward Radio wonders. Maybe that's, how I said, what are we, the Ward Radio Army? Maybe we're the Ward Radio Wonders. It almost sounds like a classic baseball team from, what was that movie with Madonna and Tom Hanks? A League of Their Own?
Yeah.
Yeah, should we be the Ward Radio Wonders, babe?
Okay, we could do that.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So anyway, we got a lot of really cool stuff coming out. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. This has been a total blast. We're going to be here next Tuesday again. Oh, no, we're not.
We're not actually.
No. That's the only week where we go dark.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have some videos that we're producing. But yes, we will not be here next Tuesday or next Thursday. So if we do not see you again, we might. But if we don't see you again, then everybody, Merry Christmas. Please send your friends the video about the 3 Nephites
Oh my
and
gosh.
the
Okay, hold
apocryphal.
on. I got to interrupt you. The
Yeah, what?
Dove's Nest. She has the greatest comments. Oneaters. Like the Wonders with the Oneaters. Do you know that movie?
No, what?
The movie is That Thing You Do.
Okay, yeah, what is it?
If I have to explain, it's not funny. But the movie is That Thing You Do.
Okay.
And the guy really wanted to be called The Wonders, but with O-N-E. And Tom Hanks is their manager. I think it's Tom Hanks. And he says, it looks like the Oneaters. So that's why she's saying Wonders, Oneaters.
Yeah,
Dove's
I got
Nest.
you.
I really liked it. Carden has no idea what we're talking about, but I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, and also somebody else here said the Ward Radio Watchdogs. I'm digging that. I think the Ward Radio Watchdogs that's where it's at. That one, I'm digging that one so far. So anyway, before we go anywhere, we're going to have a fun little outro here, guys, because we've figured out that YouTube cuts us off in the last 30 seconds. We're going to have a fun little outro here. It's going to look like this. Just say Ward Radio After Party in the Discord. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, after party in the Discord. We'll hang out there for a couple of minutes. Other than that, guys, it's been real and it's been fun and it's been real fun. We're going to play the cool intro to the live stream as our outro. And then if you guys want to hang out, hopefully I have a couple of minutes to hang out in the Discord. But other than that, it's been awesome. It's been real and it's been fun. And it's been real fun. For this and more, please make sure you check us out on wardradio.com. apologetics.com.
I could help these guys anti-bitter.
The standard of truth has been erected.
Stop playing defense.
You're absolutely right.
No unhallowed hand can stop the broadcast.
That is the way that a lot of Latter-day Saints do apologetics.
Cancel culture rages and mobs combine.
We actually had one of the protesters over for dinner.
But the truth of God will go forth boldly
These people are lying to you. They do not care about you.
until it has reached every television, sounded in every iPhone, and reached every person. This signal will continue to go forth. Here we defend truth. Here we denounce deception. Here we are created in the image of God. Our detractors call us crazy, but our friends call us